Last week we started creating a new application. We created a user admin screen, which allowed us to add and edit users. Now this week, we're going to create a new screen which allows those users to log in to the application. Now this application is going to be used kiosk style, which means many users are going to be using the same computer. So instead of a traditional login screen, we're going to have like a user switch screen. That's what we're going to do this week. So why don't you join me as we build this together? So before we create our new screen, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the screen we worked with last week, and we're going to copy a few elements here so we don't have to waste any time recreating these controls. We're going to save time. This is something that you'll find that you'll do a lot of in PowerApps that will save you tons of time. It's a pro move. Or as my teenage son would say, that's a pro gamer move, Dad.
Yeah! Let's go find the rectangle underneath there. There we go. Those two things right there. And the gallery. I want those three things. Because we're going to use them on the home page. So let's go up to the home screen. We're going to paste that there. Very good. It's going to bring over the users. Okay, so here on the left side, I want the Does it look right? Technicians? All right. And then on the right side, I'm going to have Office Admin. There we go. All right. So it's falling over. That's good. All right. So Office Admins. Very good. All right. So now we're going to filter these things. We're here, data source, and we'll use the filter function. And we'll say is technician, is a capital Y. There we go. And let's copy that. And we'll go over here to the Office Admins, paste it there, and this one is going to be is Office Admin. You know what else we need to put in here? We need to also make sure that they're active staff. So, and is active equals capital Y. So the other gallery needs that as well. I'm going to copy that, bring it over here. And there we go. All right. So these are all the techs, and these are all the Office Admin. I don't know that I want these little labels here anymore, though. So I think I'm going to take those out. We're going to know that what they are based on what list they're in. So the width of this gallery is 478. Let's click on both of them and make both of them 600. That doesn't look bad. I might move that over a little bit. And move this one over a little bit. Now, its heading should have came over. I didn't, so maybe I messed that up somehow. Go. All right, so let's make this a little wider. So 610 maybe. Very good. So what would I like to do here? Let's move this up. Something else we might want to do is sort this based on some criteria. You know what might be good is to actually sort them based on their title. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll do the same thing over here. We'll wrap the sort function around this. Very good. All right, so I want to move that label up. And we want to make sure everything's consistent. So this one is 34. This one over here is 32. I think 30 would be good. And I might make the left padding be 10. So 10, 30. And move it down just a little bit. Yeah. Maybe make the wide 10. Very good. All right. All right, so if somebody comes to the screen, if you're on this screen, what this screen should do is, if there was someone logged off or logged out. If somebody comes to the screen, it needs to log anybody off that was logged in. Okay, so we'll need to put that in the onVisible event that fires when this screen comes up. So, okay, this needs to be centered. You know what, let's grab the rectangle behind and make sure this is all correct. .x, .y, and the width is the same. There we go. I mean, while we're at it, we'll set the height. Here's the rectangle there. There we go. You know what I might do? Something that might look nice is put in an icon. Right here. There's a wrench. Look at me, I'm using icons for technicians as opposed to office admin. Look at that. So that's something I didn't think I thought was a good idea, but I just want to sort of add something to the screen. It's just bugging me a little bit here. So let's do something more like 8 on the padding. Okay. And then for the office admin, I'm tempted to do people, or we could type in something that looks like an office building. There we go. I don't know. What do you think? Okay. So if you click on one of these records, I sort of don't want the galleries to be so tall. Let's bring them up a little bit. I have a version number of the app right here that I don't want to be overridden by the gallery. So I need to make this a little smaller. Make this more like 20 maybe. There you go. There you go. All right. So if they click in here, I'd sort of like the pass with a pen to be displayed. So let me go get a good text box for this. And I'm going to get it from this screen right here. So I want to grab these 3 things. And in order to paste controls into that first record that's repeated in a gallery, there's a little trick that I found is you click on something that's already in that gallery and then you paste and then it will put it in there. Look at that. So I don't want it to be quite so big. Let's make that 10 and also make it more like 30 and not so wide, maybe 120. That'd probably be good. So I'm going to put, okay, Chopin. You know, instead of doing something like that, I think I'd rather have an icon for that. And we'll say enter 10. And we'll make it right justified. And we'll give it a right padding of 10. And just make that a little smaller. Yeah, all right. So now let's bring in an icon and let's look at an eye like a show hide type of an icon. There we go, view. We have view and hide. Look at that. Now, what I want to do is I want it to match the red in here. So I have a variable called var theme, has all my theme values, and I'll say primary dark. And we'll make this thing be like 30 by 30. That might look good. All right, feeling good about this. Let's move this over a little bit. And also, got to keep in mind, we'll probably have a little scroll bar there to the side. Let's put this to the side of it. There we go. And let's use some padding here, like maybe 6 pixels. It's not bad. Let's zoom in. And I think I like how close it is there. It's good. Maybe not. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a context variable, but it's going to be reset anytime they click on a different row. So I have the gallery selected. I'm going to go into on select. Okay, now we copied this thing, these two galleries from that previous screen. Now this code here doesn't make any sense. However, it does have some code here for update context. So we're going to say show pin, and we're going to set that to false. So anytime they click on a new row, it's going to do that. Let's duplicate that over here on this other gallery. Very good. On the click event, sorry, on select of this icon, we should do an update context, and we're gonna reverse whatever was in there, okay? Because we're gonna use the same icon for a hide as well. So over here on the icon, let's copy that context variable, and we'll say if show pin is true, we'll say icon.hide. Otherwise, it'll be view. Okay, and then we'll take this show pin, and this will be our little Boolean value. Okay. Now, what's it got a problem with now, huh? So the default value here should be this item.pin. Very good. All right. Also, I don't want to see this unless we're on the current record. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this up, and I'm going to set the visible to be underscore show pin. I'm sorry, no. This item dot is selected. There we go. So what's going to happen here, you click on a new row, it's only going to appear on whichever row you have selected. And then you're going to click on that little icon. That's weird. So something's not right. You know what happens? It does the select. The select runs the code that sets it to false. So we'll take that out. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Yay. Well, cool. I feel like we need a, oh, you know what? We don't want to display the pin in there. They need to enter it, and then we need to compare it against what the value is. Okay, so the default for that should actually be empty string. Now let's move this over. Like that. Ugh. It's one of the annoying things of PowerApps. Sometimes you have to use the numbers here to actually. Let's go 50. Okay, let's move this over just a little bit to the left. There we go. Trying to figure out if I want to use a button here. I think so. Yeah, let's add a button here. Let's go find a good button for us to use over on a screen where we have all of our controls we copy from. And I think I'd like to use this one. Okay, but of course I don't want it to be that big. So I'll just paste in here. And let's try to make it as big as that text box. So I believe that's going to be 30. And log in. Of course, the font needs to be much smaller. I think the radius needs to be half as much. Bring that down to 5. So where's the font? Right here, 15. Let's make that like 8. Maybe 10. Yeah. And let's set the width like 60. I like that. You know what I want to do is I would like to bring that over on top of the text box. That'd be great, huh? Yeah. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, so what is the top of the text box? Top of the text box is 50, and the button is 50, so they are aligned on the top. Very good. Now, let's go look at the visible. This is selected, and we should group the button with it and make sure the visible for all of these is that. How about that? Ooh. So, I think that's a weird browser thing that's popping up in there. I usually use Chrome, and I'm using Edge here, so I'm not used to that. So if I click off of it, it only happens at the beginning. So if the browser doesn't intervene like that, it looks nice. Also, something else we should do for these labels here, like this guy right here, instead of being black, let's stick with our theme, which is var theme.primary dark. There you go. And let's make the names bold. Okay, whenever somebody logs in, if you look at the very top here, we have a fictitious user popping up here. So this is application header control. And if we look up at we have a variable called current username. You know, we could probably use that variable and it would work just fine. Let's go look and see what var current user actually is. So we'll go to onStart. Well, current user. We have email, photo, email, full name, email, photo. All right, so I'm going to have to rework some of the things for my application header bar in my application template because it's set up to use or set up to expect users to be set up as regular Office 365 user accounts and not kiosk type of users. So we have to rework how the app works with that. What I'm going to do here is this application template is trying to get at the user's email, name, and photo. So what we need to do is go over to components and we'll look at this and let's yeah, it brings those things in. Okay. Profile photo. Okay. So what we'll use here, the default image we'll use for profile photo will be sample image. Okay, and then the profile line 1 will be just some text. You know what I think I might do is just have an empty string there. And then for profile line 2 is we'll do the same thing. We'll just put in an empty string there. Okay, very good. Now, all right, so we have some errors. And the reason why we have errors is because nothing is set up. we've got a variable called var current user. And what I want to do is set that up in the app on start to go get a blank row within the app on start, because nobody's logged in at that point. So we'll go to app on start, and we'll go down to a point which is right here. We'll set up this variable, current user, and instead of getting their name and everything, we won't do that. What we'll do is we'll use the defaults function, and we'll say TBL users, and that should work. Let me hit Shift Tab to reverse the indent, and then indent that over. All right. All right, so that should work well. You would think. And it didn't. So let's go look at the errors. Okay, well that SharePoint list doesn't have a full name, but it does have a title. There you go. And this error over here is tester. Var is tester. All right, so let's set up a variable in app on start that initializes that to false, because I don't want people to be testers for the kiosk in this application with the kiosk users. Okay, so set false. Set that thing to be false. All right, very good. Now we'll rerun this. And there we go. All right, so something I don't like is that image over there in the header component. What we need to do here is look at the profile photo, then that image, and I'm hoping that is blank is going to help us out. Is blank. If that is blank, we're going to say sample image. Otherwise, we'll use the property of our component. How about that? Yay! And then our menu looks fine once it's started up. All right. You know what I want to do is that text box, why does it have text already in there? Did I type that in before and it just didn't get reset? What we should do is when a click event happens, we show that pin false, but we could also do a reset on this text box. Right? There we go. All right. There we go. All right. So what needs to happen when they click the login? Well, we need to authenticate them and make sure that they have the right PIN. All right, so there's a reason I'm not adding all this login and password stuff over here, because I want to make sure I've perfected it before I do a copy and paste, because once I do the copy and paste, then any little change I'll have to do to both sides, and I want to make sure I've got this down solid before I do that. And essentially the code will be the same underneath this login button. Pretty much everything will work the same. I just wanted those two user lists to be separate. What we're going to do is, let's just assume they're going to enter a bad password. Okay, so what are we going to do about a bad password? Well, I think we should reset that text box. Okay, so let's do an if statement in this thing here. If this text box, pin 1, let's say pin entry enter. Okay, don't really like underscore numbers in there. All right, so if the contents, the text box.text equals this item, this item dot pin, if those things are the same, let's just say notify logged in. Okay. And then, is it notify? Yeah, I need a comment there. That's what's going on. All right, so notify, and we'll also say notification type dot success. Okay, so we'll come back and visit that. Okay, so what I said was we should just assume that it's wrong. So let's work on that code here, which is the false part. Well, we can do the same and say login failed. And then I want to reset that text box. I think that might do it. You know what I want to do? Let's take this blank screen. Well, I guess whenever we encounter it, we'll just say title. There we go. And that will fix that. All right, so we have a blank screen. All right. Well, let's make sure the menu's on top. And then we'll put a spinner on top of that. That's what we need to do if we add any new controls to a screen. All right, so in the case of a successful login, let's do a navigate. To new, actually blank screen. There we go. All right, let's give this a try here. Oh, I hate that little icon, that black. Anyway, we'll click login. Boom, login failed. It reset. Login, it resets. Okay. Now I think her pin is really 0123. I'm going to click login. Logged in, blank screen. Boom. Haha. All right. All right. All right. So what else do we need to do? We have a variable set up called var current user. Okay. Let's go into this button again. After they're logged in, okay, so logged in, the first thing that I want to do is initialize this variable current user, and instead of that type of stuff, we need to go do a lookup. We're going to do a lookup on the table users, and we're going to go do an ID. You know what we could do? Instead of going to do a lookup, we could just say this item. That would work. All right, I'm going to hit Control S. Look at that. There we go. There's Abigail. Now that stuff, the thing appearing at the top and a successful login, that looks annoying. All right, so we're going to take out that logged in, and we'll only get displayed if it's a login failed. Okay. So she's logged in. You can see it. Okay, so here's something cool. So if they, okay, so I'm going to go to new screen. No, I don't want new screen. I want to go to this blank screen. I'm going to duplicate it. I want to provide a way for them to log out. We'll call it user log out. Okay. And you notice my screen header did not update. So you click on something and then you go back, and now it updated. Very good. and my menu doesn't update until you run it. There you go. I want to display something to the user, letting them know that they've been logged out. I think what I'll do is if they go to this home screen, this will actually log them out and give them the chance to log back in as somebody else. This button here sets this guy up. So on home, on visible, we'll actually set this as blank. Or probably a better one would be defaults. TBL users. That would probably be the best thing. All right. So let's say we log in. We get to this news screen. We're logged on as her. We click home. Boom, we're logged out. Now, what also needs to happen is this thing needs to be reset. So whether this is right or wrong, we're going to reset that text box. Just take that, put it right there. So it happens no matter what. And we have this commented out. We'll just take that out. How about that? All right, so we're logged in. Click on home. We're logged out. And this is blank. This is good. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. 999. Login failed. Okay. We're not logged on as anybody. 0123, login, boom. I want to do the same thing. I think I want technicians to go to one screen, office admin to go to a different screen. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this homepage. This is no longer a homepage. This is actually the switch user screen. Okay. Ugh. Let's rerun this here. There we go. We're looking good. There's our menu. Very good. So I don't know if we're going to use this logged out screen. Let's go to the blank screen. Let's make a duplicate of it. We'll call this Technician Home. Okay. And then we'll make a duplicate of it, and we'll say Office Admin Home. There we go. So each user type will have their own home screen. All right. So I don't like this black label, so I'm going to take that out. All right, so now I'm going to take everything inside this gallery here. And I am going to copy. You know what? I don't want the image because I already have the image over there, and that's fine. Copy. I'm going to click on that image. I'm going to hit paste. Hopefully it comes over. Okay. And I think we're good. Now, did I make all the passwords? Yeah. Okay. So let's go back home. All right. So this one, this login button here, we're going to make sure. So let's go into blank screen. Blank screen should just be the blank screen. So here's Technician Home. I'm going to copy that. Go to the login. There we go. And then we'll go down here to Office Admin Home. Grab it. This button. And we'll go to a new screen here. There we go. We'll save. So what's nice about this, if you notice, there's a guy named Darren here and a Darren over here. So if I want to log on as technician, so it's going to take me to, like, I'm both in both roles. But if I log in over there, I'm going to one screen, log in over there, it goes to a different screen. Very nice, very nice. In the app on start, I actually set up all the navigational items here. So I need to just leave it as home. In fact, I don't even want it to say home anymore. I want it to be like login or switch user. So let's find an appropriate icon for that. So let's insert a new icon here. It could be anything for now. And let's say a key, maybe key, or a lock. A key might be good. Yeah. Let's scroll down and look at all the different icons we have here. Yeah, I like the key. All right, a key it is. So delete that. We'll go in and look at the code that sets up the navigational menu, which is near the bottom here. All right, so we have the home screen. So we're going to call this key. And we're going to call it, well, switch user. Here we go. Now, all these others really aren't going to be used because this was sort of set up as regular Office 365 users and not as kiosk users. So we will take that out. There you go. So now when the application starts up, there's only going to be one menu item. That's going to be that little key. It's going to look nice like that. I like it. All right, so there's a few things that need to happen in addition to what we have to sort of log in a new user. All right, let's proceed here. So there's something special I want the application to recognize if it's me. There's some debugging features that I want to have enabled. If somebody clicks on me as the developer and enters a valid password, I want them to be recognized as a developer and having extra testing capabilities, or maybe even have an extra screen or two. So what I'd like to do is go over to the SharePoint list here, and let's add in a new column. Single line of text is fine. And we're going to say is developer, single line of text, very good. Now we're not going to allow that field to be edited from anywhere in the application. We're actually going to set that up. This is me, and it looks like all the pins. So I'm going to click on me, and I'm going to go down to is developer. I'm going to type in a capital Y. Very good. I'll get it out. There we go. There's the Y. All right. So now that we have that over here, we're going to do a refresh on the table users. Okay. So on this login, I'm going to add some comments in here to sort of make this code a little more readable. So do something like that. Login success. And then here, to get here, we'll say access denied. And we could sort of separate this out a little bit like that. Okay. So we set this current user on the item that they logged in as. Then what I want to do is I have a variable, or we create a variable called is app developer. Okay, so now that we got the user, we'll say if var current user dot is developer we'll set a variable, and we'll call it var is app developer. Set that to true. If the thing equals y. Otherwise, we'll make sure it has a value. It's been initialized as false. But set as true. What we also want to do is set up values that will enable the menus off here to the side. So, all right, so I have a variable called var user roles. Var user roles. And it's a string variable that is built or constructed so more access is added to the string as we find out more access they should have. So for example, we know this person's a developer, so we're going to take the value, what's currently in, so this var user roles, it's going to have all of the names of the roles that they're a part of. Okay, so we're going to take what's currently in there and then we're going to add in the name of that variable. So for the menu, if it has this in there, it will actually show developer menu items. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very similar to this. Let's do one of these. Are they a developer or a tester developer? Yeah, that's fine. The next question is, well, they're on the left side, so we already know that they're a technician. So we need to do something similar to this. These two statements. Var is technician. There we go. So we're going to add them to the technician group by doing that. And then that will help the menu know if they should display technician menu items. Very good, very good. All right, well, we need to do something very similar to the right side of the screen now. And we're going to say we know they are a technician. Very good. Now go to the screen. Okay, Control S to save. Very good. All right, so we need to make sure we have all this cool stuff on the right side of the screen as well. So I'm going to hit Control A, Control C. I have Notepad++ that has little blocks of code that I can look at while I'm coding. All right, so I'm going to go over here to this login button, open this up and see what I'm missing, which is a little bit. So we need our logon success. That's important, right? Our little comment there. And right before the navigate, we're going to get all of the code that we had there. Okay, are they developer? Yes. Add them, so that part's going to be the same. We know they are an office admin. Is office admin. Put that there. Now go to the office admin screen. There we go. All right. Fantastic. As I've mentioned, we have our user roles right there. And so this menu has a property called groups users in. Do you see that? And we pass that variable in there. So that should automatically change the menu items. Okay, so this is good stuff. All right. Now get this. We have a technician home and an office admin home. Both of them need to be here on this side with a little home icon. So let's go find out where the menu is created. It's down here. Let's just create new ones here. You know what, I will keep this admin. I'll bring that over. Actually, let's cut it. Comma, bring that down. Developer screen has a key. Now the key isn't good because we're using the key for the login screen. So we need a developer type of an icon. There's the var is app developer, and it goes to developer screen. Okay, so let's go find an icon for the. Let's just use something. Let's say add document for now, and we'll change that to make it look more developer-y. All right, so. All right, we'll copy that. We'll paste that. Make sure a comma's there. And we'll call this technician home. This will be home. What is var is technician? And this will be technician home. Very good. Now let's do one for the app admins. Office admin. It'll be home as well. And the variable name is office admin. There we go. All right. Okay, so we have no menu items here. You know what we do need to do is the first screen. Let's go look at the menu, the nav items, right here. So everybody should be a user. So if I run this, we have that key, and the key is there because inside of the app on start, we have var user roles. That is a variable somewhere in here. Yeah. You guys see this? It says set var user roles equals user. Okay, so this needs to be set up whenever this screen has gone back to, because it needs to completely reset things. All right, so we'll go in here. There we go. So that will always be there now. Very good. So they only have one menu item there. All right, so we log on as Abigail. Login failed. 0, 1, 2, 3. What? Okay. You know, I'm gonna set up that. Oh look, went to technician home. I have a button here. Look at that. Okay. That's a little weird. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3. So what I was going to say was when it displays the login failed, here it's a little too long. So let's go in and set this up to be 2 seconds. So we'll put in 2000 milliseconds there, and we'll set the same thing up over here. I think maybe the default's like 5 seconds or 8 seconds or something. It's just too long. All right, so we'll log in. Here we go. There's home, technician home. We're a technician. There's Abigail. Go back to switch user. Now my menu is doing something weird. I find that interesting that it's doing that like that. So I need to figure out what's going on with that. But it's not really specific to this project. It's more specific of what's something's going on with the menu that I need to look into. All right, so let's log on as myself. Make sure that I have, oh, okay. Okay, I see something else that needs to happen on this app, this application bar. So for this image, it needs to be fill. It's going to look a lot better. Actually fills up the spot photo there. That's good. Control S. Okay, so there is a all right, let's go back home. And I have a debug feature that only works if a variable is set up for testers. And the variable is called, let's see, we'll go in here. Yeah. A new level needs to be set up here. You know what I think I might do is how I wrote this application template is developers can be completely independent from a tester. So instead of coupling them here, I think what I will do is set up a new column here that allows me to. Single line of text is tester. All right, so we have that. We'll go in. There's tester. We'll type in a Y. Okay, so we need to refresh the data source. There we go. Are they a tester? Is tester. So we want to say var is tester. Take that variable name, throw it right here. Copy that and set it there to be false. All right, now we need to copy this, put it on the right side of the screen. There you go. All right, so let's log myself in here. There we go. So you see this thing up here? That's my little testing feature. You want to see how cool it is. Let's say you've got something, well, I've got it on my copy controls from here. You could take this, well, if you run this, you get special information that will pop up that will have extra debugging information. Let's say a user is experiencing a problem that you can't recreate on your end as a developer. You add them as a tester, as a debug user, and then when they log in, they'll have this little icon that shows up. Tell them to click on it. Okay, what does that label say there? Label says ID equals 5, you know, so you like, oh, that's what's going on. You know, so you could put stuff in here that won't show up for the majority of the users, but you can have it display for certain users. It's great for debugging. So what I'm confused about Actually, I'm not confused about it. Instead of, see, the name isn't being shown here. So the profile line 1 should be title now. Very good. Very good. All right. So I'm going to go back home and log on. Now, this is interesting. This thing is still here. It should have completely logged me out and reset everything. So on the on visible, we need to reset things such as is developer. You know, I think I might leave that in because there might be some debugging or things that need to happen on this screen, and I won't completely take that access away from them, but if they log on to someone else, it will be taken away. And that code is already in there that will do that. So you see that is developer false and is tester false. So if they're not really a tester developer, it's going to be taken away as soon as they click on that button. All right, so anyway. I'd almost like to display different photo here. So I'm going to go look online and find something that looks a little better than that. All right, so I found an animated file, an SVG file that I can use in here for like if somebody's logged off, not logged in yet. And one of the sites I like to use is loading.io. Go to a browser and type that in, you know, instead of loading.com, it's loading.io. If that makes any sense. So, all right. So just to show you, by the way, loading.io. So you can go here and you can do a search for an icon and you see how it's animated. You can turn off the animation to make it static if you want, and you can change the color. So that's what I did. So I'm going to upload the graphic that I created, and you're going to see what that graphic looks like here. And it's this graphic right here. So you see that it says it has the SVG extension. So I'm going to double click on that. And by the way, I try to, if you see all these graphics that I've uploaded recently, they have the GRA prefix. In the past, I've had the word graphics with a dash, which I don't recommend to anybody because you have to have little single quotes before and after. So if you just name it GRA, in this case, anon for anonymous. So over in the, let's see, for the profile photo, it's blank. So the component is going to handle that. So instead of using that sample image, it will use a GRA anon. Now it is animated, so I try to set up so it doesn't animate too quickly, but if they see that, they know that no one's logged in. I don't know. I just didn't like that sample image being there. Okay. All right. So let's log on as a technician here. Okay. Technician home. And then over here, if we log on as a Dorothy 0123, see, we're in Dorothy, and we're in the Office Admin home. Okay, so what is it that Office Admin users can do? What screen can they go to that we've already created? Well, it's the user admin screen, right? So see here, we have this manage user screen. Remember the screen that we did in the first part? Here. All right, so there's a few things that are happening here. Number one, we need to update this to be title instead of full name. Okay, there we go. If we run this, the menu looks right. I would almost like if the home was in front of this key. Like this key is more like, I mean, if they click on it, it logs them out. takes them to a login screen. So really that should be, so I'm going to reverse that order when I get back to that code for the app on start. But let's grab this screen here. For users, I'm trying to think of a nice icon, because eventually this application will keep track of customers, which will have probably like a people type of icon. So let's add in an icon here. So we have person, we have people. What other depiction do we have of people? Now we do have smiley faces. You know, we could use a smiley face for customers later on, because customers are always happy. They're happy they're giving you their money, so they should always be happy, right? So we could do that. You know, we'll go with that, and then we can always change our mind later. Okay, so we have the name of this screen on the clipboard. Hopefully, we go back and app on start. Okay. So that screen will be right in here. This switch user screen, it's not really a home. We'll put that at the very end. I need to put a comma there. Something is messed up here, so now I gotta figure out what's going on. Usually it has to do with commas. Yeah, there should not be a comma at the end. There you go. All right, so we have manage user screen. And we will have people. Okay. All right, we should be set up now. Run. Run. Okay. All right, let's log out and redo this here. All right, so let's log on as Mary now. We'll log in. There's the Office Admin Home. But you notice what she has access to now is manage users. Look at that. I'm just wondering why the data isn't being populated for Randy now that I'm on the screen. So let's add this code right here. So I'm going to go to Office Admin Home. And then we will go to, there we go. There we go. So now it's bringing up Randy. Look at that. So right now, the Office Admin, this is what they can do. Now their home, we're going to add more things here later on, of course. This could be the report screen, or like a dashboard where we have performance indicators for the current day or the current week. Of course, we're not going to tackle that now. That will be more towards the end of the project. So we got the users there. And if we click on this, switch user, it's going to log us out. But for some reason, my menu is doing something weird. I need to look into that. So, all right, I think it's looking good so far. All right. All right, well, that concludes the kiosk user portion of this application. Hopefully you found this helpful. This is something I've never had in the requirements for a PowerApps application before. So thanks for bearing with me and going along the journey with me as we've figured this out and walked through it and did it together. Hopefully you found that useful. And
if you could do something for me, which is, besides liking the video, if you liked it, is leave a comment below and just let me know what you think of this. Let me know what perhaps you would have done better, or how you think this could have been improved, or pose any questions of maybe why I did something a certain way. I'd really appreciate the engagement, so I understand how you guys are thinking, and also perhaps any video ideas or anything that you guys would like to see. So if you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. Thank you. Okay. Check a 1, 2.
I don't know, man.
It's too bright. You know what I mean? Which allowed us to add, edit. Did we do delete? I don't remember. It's a screen that users, which means more than one user is going to be using the same application, going to be using the same computer. It's almost like
If you found anything in this video helpful, we would really appreciate you click on that like button. If you want to get a solid foundation on PowerApps, there are 10 things you must know. Lucky for you, my husband wrote the book. We are actually offering it for free. Click on the link below to download your free copy today. And if you want to connect with us or work with Darren directly, visit our website. The link is below. Thanks.